Unapologetic. It means not apologizing for your greatness. Here, we unpack the inner workings of our greatest creatives. From authors, musicians, filmmakers, painters. We even talk a little sports. And sometimes there's poetry in motion on that ball court and that football field. We speak about the lifestyle, the culture, and the overall way of life that is known as hip-hop. We even touch on some current events and situations that affect the culture as well. All in all, this is Unapologetic, and I'm your host, Elijah Foreman. Let's get it started. Yes, this is Elijah Foreman, and this is Unapologetic with Elijah Foreman. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you all are well. I hope everybody is remaining and staying in good health. You have to remember, y'all, COVID didn't go nowhere. COVID ain't go nowhere. And now they got the monkeypox and they got polio coming back and all this other stuff they trying to put out there to get us out of here, man. So I need y'all to stay as healthy as possible. Continue to do what you've been doing for 2020, 2021, and this year. Stay positive, stay healthy. That is the goal. This week for Unapologetic with Elijah Foreman, we got an action-packed show for you, and we're going to kick it off with some current events. Recently, about a week ago, Will Smith took to his Instagram and to his YouTube after about 5 months of silence. He did the Oscars. The situation happened with him and Chris Rock. The next day, he put a statement out on his Instagram, just a quick apology to Chris and to the Academy. He announced that he was stepping down from the Academy. And then it was also announced by the Academy that he would be banned for the next 10 years from attending the show. But throughout the entire spring and throughout the entire summer, we didn't see Will on video, on camera, which is rare because Will, before this incident happened, he built his IG and YouTube channel up to hundreds of millions of followers and views. So to just see him be dead silent, that was another indicator that no, this was not staged. No, this was not fake. This was something real. And while Chris Rock was able to thrive after the situation happened, and he's been touring, he just did a show with Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle, where Kevin Hart bought Chris Rock a goat and said that the name was Will Smith. You know what I mean? They have a picture that went viral with the goat on stage and everything like that. So while Chris Rock's doing all that, Will Smith has been dead silently quiet. Even with Jada going on Red Table Talk and trying to facilitate a sit down between Will and Chris Rock, Will has been deadly silent. And he finally broke that silence. And, you know, there's been people going back and forth. There's speculations on whether or not he was sincere with his apology, or was it something that he felt like he had to do in order to continue his career and potentially get his career back, because a lot of people had kind of written him off. You know, there were rumors about the Netflix deal going south as far as films that he had going on. There were rumors that Bad Boys 4 wouldn't happen. There were even rumors that, you know, the Fresh Prince series that's on Peacock right now would be done after just one season. Now, none of these rumors were deemed true outside of Bright 2, which is the Netflix film, not going into production. But since this whole ordeal happened, people have come back and said, you know, Bad Boys 4 is going to happen. And also Bel-Air, the new Fresh Prince spinoff, is going to continue. So we were good with that. But we were all wondering, where is Will? So for Will to show up on camera, you know, a lot of people, these psychologists that are going to study the body language and study, how he said this and how many times he blinked to the left and how many times he pointed his pointer finger to the right and all this other stuff. That's cool. I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking their expertise. I'm not knocking their profession, anything like that. All I want to focus on is what he sat in front of that camera and said. He claims that Jada didn't have anything to do with his decision. She didn't make him do anything, which could very well be true because it seems as if the way he was thinking about it, she didn't tell him, you better go up on that damn stage. She may have shot him a look to let him know that she didn't like what was going on because she's visibly seen on camera rolling her eyes. So he probably saw that look and didn't like, her reaction, felt bad for how she was feeling and went up on the stage. That could very well be true. He went on to not only apologize to Chris Rock, but he also apologized to Tony Rock, who's Chris Rock's little brother. A lot of people don't remember, man. If y'all remember the show back in the day, All of Us, that starred Dwayne Martin, Elise Neal, and Lisa Ray, and Terry Vaughn. Back in the day when that show premiered, if you look at the credits for executive producer, Will Smith is one of those people who was a producer on that show, along with Jada and along with Will Smith's first wife. So Tony Rock was on the show. Tony Rock was Dwayne Martin's best friend on the show. So that means that these guys had a relationship. These guys knew each other. Now, doesn't always mean they were cool. You know what I mean? Doesn't always mean that they were cool, because there have been other black sitcoms out there where they're best friends on camera, but behind the scenes, they're not cool. For Will to say that, him and Tony Rock were cool and that was his man, that brings more validity to what he's saying and more honesty to what he's saying. So it was a big step for him to apologize to Tony, because he know that hurt him for his brother, his older brother, to be on a national, ranked award show, a major award show, and to have that moment taken by somebody, Tony Rock was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So for Will to do that, that was big of him. He also apologized to Chris Rock's mother, which is another big step, and hopefully making sure this situation gets rectified and it doesn't go to the next level. So all in all, man, do I believe that Will was being honest? I do. And I won't stop believing it unless he proves otherwise. But you can only go off of what you're seeing right now. And on face value, it looks like Will's being very, very honest. It looks like he's being very, very sincere. And I'm going to leave it at that, man. And at the end of the day, it ain't our motherfucking business, bro. Let's keep it 1,000 right now. It is not our business. And for people who continue to push this situation, I understand it started in the public eye, so it's going to remain in the public eye. But at the end of the day, let's push for some goddamn positivity, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stop trying to look for the negative angle all the time, because that's part of the problem. People walk around here looking for the negative angle in everything, and when they find it, they grind at it. They grind at it. They grind at it. To the next thing you know, somebody fucks around and gets killed. Y'all got to cut that shit out, man. Look, matter of fact, you know what? Man, if you don't cut that shit out.
Yo, hold up. Time out. Time out. Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Y'all need to cut that shit out, man, because at the end of the day, if things were to go further and people ended up inflicting bodily harm or each other, somebody get hurt, then it's going to be like, well, damn, why they taking it so far? You're a part of it. You acting like that's what you want. Violence has already been inflicted on stage. So now that it's 5-6 months later, ain't nothing else happened since. It's time to peacefully end that situation. Because listen, right hand to God, I don't know if I would have had the type of resilience that Chris Rock had on that damn stage. Something would have happened to Will. I'm sorry. For you to slap me and then turn around and fix your blazer and have a smirk on your face as you're walking off the stage, you gonna get a foot to your ass or something. You gonna get help flying off that fucking stage. Cause I'm gonna kick your ass off the stage for what you just did. Simple and plain, man. So at the end of the day, salute to Chris Rock, salute to Will Smith, salute to the Rock family, salute to Jada even, man, for trying to end this shit. You know, hopefully it ends peacefully. You know, Chris Rock seems to be in good spirits. Will Smith seems to be trying to get back into good spirits. So, you know, when it comes down to the rest of the year and then definitely 2023, hopefully these guys can get past it and get back to what they do best, which is entertain us and make some fucking money, man. That's it for the current events, y'all. We'll be right back with the lookout for this segment. Yes, and we're back. Real quick, y'all, for the lookout for this segment, I've already given this guy the Life Artist Spotlight in season 1. I've spoken about him in a number of the At the Table interviews that I did in season 1. This dude is a fucking legend, bro. And I have to give him the lookout for this segment because I'm starting to see things in rotation right now. And it's crazy how he was able to work with BET and really finesse some shit into his favor. I have to say real quick, salute to Mr. Tyler Perry. The reason why I'm saluting him today is because right now, in August, it's mid-August, he has transitioned from House of Pain and another show he's doing called Assisted Living that started their seasons in, I want to say, May, end of April, early May. And they're both into their mid-season, breaks that started in July. They'll probably come back around in September or October for the fall. Right now, he has a show called All the Queen's Men, starring Eva Marcel. That's within this season 2, in the midst of a dynamic season. Then we haven't even talked about The Oval, which has been on a break for a little bit. We haven't even talked about Ruthless, which has been on a break for a little bit. Tyler Perry has about 5 shows in rotation, y'all. Rotation. We talk about Power, and I'm a big fan of Power and all the fucking Power spinoffs and how 50 and Courtney Kemp has those shows in rotation. Tyler Perry got his own rotation going on, and it's fucking dope. I applaud it. It's kind of tough to get through some of those episodes, though, of these shows. I'm going to keep it 100 because at the end of the day, I'm an alpha male. I love my women. I love my queens. To the death of me, I love them. And, sometimes it's kind of tough to get past a lot of the homosexual scenes that are in some of these shows. At the end of the day, what helps me get past it is the artistic expression through the writing. But it frustrates me sometimes, y'all, because I'll get real into a show based on the writing and the storyline, and then out of nowhere, boom, it's a damn gay scene popping up. But at the end of the day, doesn't make me homophobic, doesn't make me not, have any, cool type of vibe with a gay person, or it doesn't make me have any issues with a gay person. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and be the cliche person saying, "Oh, well, I have several gay friends and I've been cool with it." Listen, man, motherfuckers that know me and motherfuckers that vibe with me, they vibe with me. And at the end of the day, I don't need to know what you do behind them closed doors of yours. And my business is my business with my woman. You ain't gonna know what I do behind my closed doors. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to TV shows, it's becoming a unwinding kind of a theme for some gay shit to be in every single show. You understand what I'm saying? And there are going to be points where you have viewership that drops a little bit because a lot of guys are getting into a lot of shows. And then by episode 3, 4, 5, you lose certain men because we're not going to continue to watch all this gay shit, bro. Now, if it has something to do with the storyline and you want to push the storyline forward, I get that. I'm an artist myself. I'm a writer myself. So I get it all. But, sometimes it's a little tough to see, a little tough to stomach. You know what I mean? So that's something that, the men, we all have to get through. We all have to get past. But nonetheless, salute to Mr. Tyler Perry. Understand something, y'all. Tyler Perry has been putting shows on TV since maybe 2006. I think House of Pain was the first one. House of Pain, Have and Have Nots. What's the other show? For Better or Worse. There was another show he did on OWN. I can't think of the name right now. It was a show centered around a group of female friends. You have The Oval. You have Sisters, which is also on TV right now. I forgot about Sisters. That's another show that's in rotation. House of Pain, I already said that. Assisted Living, The Oval, Ruthless. He has about 8 shows that he's done ever since he stepped off of the stage and started doing films and TV. It is amazing. Each one of the shows, at minimum, has about 3 to 4 seasons to it. At minimum. At minimum, y'all. This is fucking amazing. So I have to salute Tyler Perry. I'm gonna give him one more round of applause. Salute to Tyler Perry, man. Salute to everybody who's done anything on the Tyler Perry stage, on the Tyler Perry film, and in the Tyler Perry TV show. I love it all, man. It is very, 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 very dope. Despite what I just mentioned a few minutes ago that the men don't really like too much, despite that, everything he's doing is fucking dope. And I salute it all. That's it for the lookout for this segment. We'll be right back with the Author of the Week Spotlight. Yes, and we are back this week for the Author of the Week Spotlight. I have to spotlight a young lady who was born and raised in Philadelphia, PA, the land of the brotherly love. This young lady, we actually have a bit of a connection early on in her career because when I made the transition from leaving a company that I've been signed under, or a publisher I've been signed under for some years, and I started venturing off into doing some indie stuff, she ended up signing this young lady. I'm talking about Alicia Howard. Around 2015, Alicia Howard disbanded her company for a little bit, and I went off. I did another deal, signed to 2 companies, as a matter of fact. That didn't work out. And then a year later, I decided to go indie. When I went indie, Alicia came back on the scene for a little while, for a couple more years. and started publishing again and trying to put more books out and stuff like that. And this was one of the young ladies that she signed. And at the time, she went under the pen name N.M. Frye. And at the end of the day, man, she was dynamic from the beginning. Her pen was fire. She was coming with some dope storylines and things of that nature. Now her pen name is her actual name, Nadine Frye. Salute to her. And man, when I look at her catalog is forever growing, bro. From 2020 to now, she's been busting these damn books out. I'm talking about I Love Him, But My Soul Craves Another. A Savage and His Rider. Play With My Heart, Play With Your Life. The North Philly Hood Love Ain't No Fairy Tale. Another Day, Another Heartbreak. Flawed. Severed. You know, these are some dope books that she's popping out, man. And they coming out fast. They coming out hot. And guess what? At the end of the day, she gets better with every project. She gets better with every single project, man. So I want to give her a quick shout out and a quick salute. She goes by the Queen Pen Slayer. I heard that, man. So hopefully soon we'll have her on for a at the table sit down so she can tell us her background and her story in her own words. Until then, we had to give her this quick shout out today, y'all, because she's definitely on the come up. And she's going to be one of the big authors coming within the next couple of years. That's it for the Author of the Week Spotlight. We'll be right back with the Life Artist Spotlight. And we're back this week for the Life Artist Spotlight, man. I have to spotlight two brothers, well, actually two cousins, two blood cousins who have been dominating, absolutely dominating this podcast game, man. You have Drink Champs. Shout out to Nori. Shout out to DJ EFN. You have the Mike Tyson podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. You have a few other podcasts that are on high level. Joe Budden podcast. You know, even the Breakfast Club started off as something with like a podcast type of form to it, although it's also a radio show. But nobody, in my opinion, has been coming at the angle that Gillie the King and Wallo have been coming with the $1 million worth of game podcast, y'all. Let's give them a quick round of applause. First of all, man, shout out to Gillie, man, because a lot of people come into the industry, whether it be music, whether it be books, whether it be film, whether it be podcasting, whatever the case may be. A lot of folks come into the industry and they can have all the talent in the world, but when things don't work out in certain fields, they tend to just give up, quit, and just say fuck it all and just be done with it. Salute to people like Gillie, man, because Gillie started off as a heavy spitter. You know what I'm saying? He started off in a crew that was nothing but high-powered, high action, you know, on that microphone, man. Anybody in that crew, the major figures, could have went and blew the fuck up. Anybody. Everybody had the talent. Everybody had the charisma. Everybody had the skill. But Gillie was just something different. Gillie was just something different, bro. He brought a different flair, a different flavor to that mic, man, when he came up with his raps. So when he signed to Cash Money, a lot of people thought that he was going to take off. It didn't take off. He ended up having a little bit of a feud with Wayne and with Birdman, ended up going back and forth with them a little bit. You know, he had another deal with Suave House, you know, put some music out under them. You know, things just really didn't work out on a music tip, but Gillie refused to let that shit stop him. You know what I'm saying? He knew he still had something to bring to the table. He knew he still had a vibe that the next generation needed to feel and be around. And, you know, he really took advantage of the momentum he had, even with, you know, the record deals that he had not working out. It never, ever, ever stopped Gil, bro. Gil always bust his ass, man, and worked very, very hard to do what he needed to do. And then you have Wallo. Wallo, being Gillie's little cousin, got into some trouble when they were younger. And this man spent 20 years behind bars, y'all. I'm going to say that again. That man spent 20 years, 20 calendars behind bars. A lot of us can't spend 20 days behind bars. A lot of us can't spend 20 hours, 20 weeks, 20 minutes behind bars. That man spent 20 years behind bars. And he came out. He didn't have a chip on his shoulder. He wasn't mad at the world. He wasn't saying fuck everybody. He came out. He had a plan. He jumped on that motherfucking YouTube. He jumped on Instagram. He started doing motivation videos. This motherfucker boy, he'll set his camera up somewhere and run across the street real quick and then run back towards the phone and just start preaching at the phone like he just stepped off the pulpit. And although the way he's doing it may seem comical, when you sit back and you listen to what he's saying to you, everything is real, everything is raw, and everything is pure, uncut. So it was only the inevitable that Wallo and Gil would come together and create something like $1 million worth of game. Gillie was already doing it. He was already on Instagram doing the live videos and doing the stories, talking about people who would send questions to him in the DM, and he would shed light on some of the questions, try to give advice. Gil was already doing that. But the minute Wallo came home and Wallo got his mind right and they came together and started formulating ideas, it feels like $1 million worth of game came overnight, but it really didn't. You know, I believe Wallo came home around 2017, something like that. And it took him about a year and a half to really hone in on what the idea was for the $1 million worth of game podcast. By the time 2019 rolled around, they was in there. They was in there. It only took them maybe 15 episodes, if that, to get the Barstool Sports deal. And then from there, sponsors started calling, business started looking up. Before you know it, they on Drink Champs. They on the Breakfast Club. They traveling, doing different conventions, doing all types of motivational, speaking arrangements and things of that nature. And really, really, really bringing something positive to the game, man. When you watch an episode for $1 million worth of game, they got the youngins in there. They got the OGs in there. And they got the artists that's in between that got one foot in the youngin vibe and the other foot in the OG vibe. You know what I'm saying? And they appreciate every level and every era of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? To me, the bridge between the young and the old generations is $1 million worth of game. Because they're the main ones that will show a youngin', nah, motherfucker, you fucking up. Back in 1998, it was like this. And then they'll tell the OG, nah, my man, you fucking up, because these young boys, they just ill-informed. They don't really know yet. And we showing them no. We showing them how bad motherfuckers y'all was. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, these some bad motherfuckers too. And we're going to show you that. $1 million worth of game personifies being the bridge between young and old and making sure that hip hop not only lasts forever, but is something that they can leave behind for the next generations to come. And before we end the show today, I just want to touch again on Wallo and Gil's story. It's something important, man. It's something for us to remember, because at the end of the day, shit ain't gonna always come easy. It's not always gonna come easy. It's not gonna happen when you want it to happen. But at the end of the day, if you don't quit, if you refuse to quit, you will never regret it. And these two dudes are prime examples of what I mean when I say, if you refuse to quit, if you continue to push and strive for what it is you want to accomplish, then 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, you will never regret it. Because at the end of the day, you talented enough, you put some dedication behind that talent, you put some work behind that talent, you put some knowledge and some hustle behind that talent, then your talent is going to push through and reign supreme. Y'all better believe what I'm telling you. That's it for this week's Unapologetic with Elijah Foreman. I'm yours truly, Elijah Foreman. I appreciate y'all for sitting down with me. And y'all know what we do at the end of every single show. We got to remember this and keep this in our brain, y'all. You are not supposed to be sorry for being great. You hear me? I'm great. You're great. Let's continue to be great, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all take care. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode down, plenty more to come. I appreciate you for taking the time out to come hang out with me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Take care.